lovelies. Hello, hello, hello. Come in. Come on in. We have we're having a hot tub party the day after Christmas. How was your Christmas day, ladies? Uh, Joanne and I went for a pretty nice dinner in a bar grill. So I had lamb chops and he had burger. Just it wasn't easy to find an open restaurant, and Joey was very strict about about his own rules that he doesn't give money to any business or establishment that requires us to wear a mask. So you know, so he is done with this bull crap. Say hello when you are here, ladies. And I promise you on Christmas Eve that I will show up, for free by the end of the year and possibly on Christmas Day. But, the day just came and went so quickly yesterday, and then it went dark pretty early in the day, like at 5. So I decided that maybe just better wait until the next day. So promises made, promises kept. So I'm here, ladies. So get ready with your questions. I have a couple of questions already that I can answer. But before we start, ladies, help me by liking, loving, sharing this broadcast on your newsfeed. And the ladies in the group, if you want to ask questions, go to my page, because I'm not going to the groups to look at the comment section. So if you want to ask questions, go to the original broadcast, which is on my page. Click on, I don't know, just, my page, the Karina Pang Feminine Magnetism, that one. So I only answer questions there, not in the groups, not on my other page, right? This is free class. But if you think your questions are too private, after this class, hopefully, God willing, right, I would go straight to the fan subscriptions to answer private questions from already the ladies who listing their questions there in the hub. So you can sign up for my fan subscriptions, ladies. It's only $99. I put the link on the original post, I guess here on the top. Look it up. For ladies on YouTube, I don't know how YouTube works. So probably underneath, right? Or just look it up on the description section. $99 for the kind of insights that someone like me gives you, which assures you the kind of response that is at the peak of emotional intelligence, right? The key to my success in the business is because I have a very high EQ. And IQ too, of course, but but EQ turns out to be more important in life, in defining pretty much your success in life, whether or not you become a recognized influencer, you can work with people, you can affect changes in people. That is the hallmark of emotional intelligence, right, ladies? So as I say on Christmas Eve, which I probably would expand a little bit more, is about the proof in the pudding. So how do you know that I'm so good at what I do? Well, obviously, other than the financial results that you see here, but by the way, I also learned a lot of a lot of like celebrities, influencers. They you know they rent their Lamborghini, their private jet for the operation for photo ops. I don't do that, ladies. I'm always real with you. So I understand. The first time I moved in this house, for example, some people say, "Oh, uh, Joey and her are just the groundskeepers of the house, of the property." And I found it really hilarious that people think that. And I don't blame them because a lot of social media influencers, they do exactly that. They rent a mansion, they rent a private jet, and then they do photo ops, right? And Lamborghinis and stuff like that. You know, the extent to which these people trying to oversell themselves is mind-boggling. That is not something ever crossed my mind, ever, at all. I don't need to do that. So that's why I say the proof is in the pudding. I truly live in my own house. This is the house that was the result of my genius. It's nothing else. And other than that, of course, the results are truly visible. Your love life, your relationship issues are pretty much diminished or minimized when you follow my advice. That is what I mean by the proof in the pudding. So I don't have to oversell myself. It's obvious. You know, if you have the discernment, you will know who's giving good advice, who's who's not giving good advice, right? Because you have discernment. But those who don't have discernment will find me very triggering, and that's okay too, because people are on different journey in life. People are on different stages of readiness in life. So if right now I'm not resonating with you, ladies, that's fine. One day when you're growing up, when you have grown out of your stage of consciousness, you will come back and seek me because you will find me very attractive. If you don't find me very attractive right now, instead I piss you off because I just reflect back who you are, and uh, you cannot bear the reflection of your ugly faces, so to speak. I know all of you are beautiful. What I'm saying is, you know, your ugly reflections in the mirror, in a figurative way. Of course, you're going to want to break the mirror, right? Uh, that is an understandable human reaction. So this is why I call myself the last resort, because it's not my job to convert anyone. I cannot convert anyone. You know, you come to me and you tell me what you're ready for. You know, but if you're just receptive, that is a sign of readiness as well. Not necessarily that you're gonna get everything I say in one sitting, right? Uh, but you'll be open and receptive. You want to know more. That is a sign. That's a good sign. Ladies on YouTube, shut up and say hi, so I know who you are. I'll list your questions. So, and then ladies in the groups, go to the page and list your questions on the page. All right. So what else is new, ladies? Oh, I'll be back in Dallas on the 28th. And you might wonder, why do you come back and forth? Because our job is not done. And it is just a beginning, in fact. Those of us who are in Dallas, we are the foundation of this movement. What movement can? It's the movement to wake the world up from from the matrix. Yeah, that also includes like like huge news like what? Like, for example, that the Bible, for example, has been corrupted. That is really like huge news. So part of our job later on is to teach people of the truth, right? So, ladies, when I mention the Bible, please do not think that I'm like preaching religion, right? And I'm not even Christian. I'm not a traditional Christian. So only recently I use the word God more than I used to in my life. And it's only because I have been through this breathtaking uh, personal personal journey into godliness, into recognizing real real godliness, real goodness, and evil. And I'm sure those of you who have eyes to see are also seeing what I'm seeing, right? If you're still asleep right now, you still think the virus is real, the pandemic is real, the variants are real. You are fast asleep. Probably you're not ready for me. As simple as that. You don't have the eyes to see and the heart to suspect or to discern. You don't have the awareness to want to know to want to know what the opposite accounts of what you've been told to do or you've been brainwashed with, right? So those of you who are ready for me are also critical, independent thinkers. So if you're still a Democrat, ladies, I'm not for you, right? I don't work for Democrats. I don't work for communist traders. Yeah, that's what I think of Democrats. And I never lie about it. I'm always very honest and truthful about how I feel, about how I see the world. And this authenticity is what sets me apart from the rest. And as I say, proof is in the pudding. I don't need to uh, pander on a certain group of lost people just to make money. I survive just fine without the sheep, without the lost souls, the poor lost souls, which is who who the leftists are, who the Democrats are. And the beautiful thing is, of course, I come from the left. So I can see it, I can say it in the most truthful, most honest way because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm all for the truth, whatever it looks like, right? So if you still pick and choose that the truth has to come from your own camp, you're still attached to an idea, to a party, to a position, to a person, you really are slaves. It's slave mentality. You're not my tribe. So, but if you're here anyway and you want to listen more, you are more than welcome. I'm always open to people who want to learn and unlearn. And mostly, if you are following me, it's about unlearning than about learning. What's the difference between unlearning and learning? Unlearning is about letting go all this accumulated knowledge uh, you have hoarded all your life, right? So um, someone who has unlearned a lot of all their brainwashing and conditioning, they're free and they are open to anything. They go through life with open eyes, ears, mind, and heart. That's how I go through life. Okay? But if you still watch TV every day, you still read newspaper, and you still parrot whatever authorities say about COVID this, COVID that, variant this, variant that, you are fast asleep. You're not very intelligent, obviously. And people like that becomes a burden to us. You're a bunch of parasites. You are sellouts. You're communist traders. You're selling our freedom, our liberty, our country for what exactly? For a sense of false security, right? In a normal days, we tolerate you. In time like this, we no longer tolerate the wicked. We no longer tolerate the ungodly. I'm telling you that now. So go repent. So the word repent, you know, before this time, it's always associated with this sort of religious dogma, right? They all believe in this, on this savior, that savior, or you're gonna be put in hell. In this time, the word repent, it really carries its sort of uh, its reality. That if you don't repent, if you don't want to know the truth, we're gonna go into the abyss and we'll probably never get out of that. When we lose all our liberty and our freedom, we will never get it back. So use your brain. American Idols, not idols like IDOLS, but idols like IDLES. You, sheep, are American Idols. IDLES. Disturbing and disgusting. This is why I don't want to work with you. I don't help wicked people. And you say, I'm not wicked. Yeah, you stupid. Eventually, it's the same as wicked. If you don't want to know, you don't want to listen to different point of views, you don't want to open your eyes, eventually, being stupid is the same as being wicked, as being evil. Because you tolerate child abuse, you tolerate deception, you tolerate crimes against humanity, right? When you tolerate genocide, you become a genocidist. I don't know even if it's a word. Genocide is someone who basically carries out genocide. Same thing. And doesn't matter if you also are included in that you're gonna die out of the genocide. Doesn't matter. We still think not very highly of you. Okay. By the way, I have my green tea this time. Because it's a very nippy, chilly day today, ladies. So hot green tea. It's no longer hot, by the way. I put it in a microwave like twice, and now it's already kind of lukewarm already again. So I'll be back in Dallas on the 28th. Every day in Dallas, we pretty much sit in this like conference room for 7 to 8 hours a day nonstop, starting from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. What do we do there? We decode, we are given intels of what's going on. So we are basically given the view from outside the matrix, from people who basically control the matrix, who give you all these impressions. So watch the Truman Show. The Truman Show is real. It's a real life story. It's a true account, right? So how, to what extent that it is real, we will find out. I have a very strong suspicion that it is exactly like that. That our mirrors is actually not a one-side mirror, but it's a two-side mirrors. We see our own reflections in the mirror, but there are people who are watching us from behind the mirror, just like that mirror in a in a prison cell, right? So basically, you think you are watching your own reflections in your prison cell, but actually there are people behind the mirrors who are observing what you're doing. So be careful. Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully not. But I'm open to anything these days because we're living in a twilight zone, ladies, that we never experience in this revelation. We never experience any time in our lifetime. So this is a great time to wake up and really start to see the world as it actually is, not what you were conditioned to believe what it is, right? If you are still a TV watcher, read newspaper, believing in every piece of news in the mainstream media, you are pretty much Truman in the Truman Show. You are being duped, you're being controlled in a simulation. Okay, so basically, for us in Dallas, at least from my own point of view, as someone who is wide awake, I am in a simulation within a simulation. The simulation that we know as the matrix that you guys all live in, that is the like the major simulation, right? So those of us who are in Dallas put in another simulation within the matrix. But if you're awake to that, you go into the experience with eyes wide open, eyes wide open, and it is very exhilarating. It is exciting, but it is also scary at the same time because it's like riding on a roller coaster. You know, all the thrills. It's scary, but you also know deep down it is safe. You're not gonna be left high and dry somewhere hanging, in the sky, right? So that so sign up. Going back to the fan subscription, sign up for the fan subscription. I'll show up for the 205th class after this class, um, only for $99. And after 3 months, you can even claim a bonus class valued at $107, including the super duper hit class, how to be high value and easy to lose, ladies. Today is so beautiful, even though it's so nippy. Let me show you. To those who just arrived, please like, love, comment, share. So beautiful. Oh yeah. And share to your newsfeed. Help me so I can help you more. So let's go for the first question. This is from Maria. Maria is also in the fan subscription, and Maria is so avid to learn. She always come up with so many questions every week, which I love. I love when you are committed to your growth. Kat, how did you let go of past hurt and trauma? I had many regrets and hurt over my last relationship that lasted 8 years, basically almost my adulthood, age 20 to 28. After more than a year of a clean breakup, not going back and forth, I still tear up and cry every time I talk about it. What happened in my relationship with him and what my ex did. I'm totally over my ex. Definitely wouldn't want to go back with him. But I still have a hard time accepting that I've wasted my precious 8 years hanging on a relationship that didn't fulfill me. And if anything, squeezed me dry in many areas of my life. Would love to hear your wisdom. Thank you, Kat. Merry Christmas. Maria, you can let go if you could expand your thinking. This is why I keep saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, expand your thinking. Think outside of the box, right? So if you think, if you are stuck thinking as that person, as the ego, in the belief that these strings of events happen because of, from the point of view of a wounded ego, right? Or somebody, they did this to me, he did that to me, life did this to me, I'm just a victim. So you view things from a place of victimhood. And many of us do, right? This is why certain political parties are very appealing. For example, the Democratic Party today, not the Kennedy Democrat, right? By the way, I'm the in Dallas. We pretty much hanging out with the Kennedys. So uh, the Kennedy Democrat is so different to today's Democrats. Today's Democrats are pure communists, and it's very appealing to people on the lower vibrations, people on that victim mentality, still it vibrate from a place of victimhood, right? It is appealing to those people. And mind you, I also come uh, from a history that actually empathize or sympathize with the Democratic Party. But you grew up, you grew out of that stage eventually when you are somewhat smart, somewhat intelligent, somewhat uh, having somewhat discernment, right? Have some good judgment. So those who are still remaining Democrats at this point in life, they have no judgment, they have no discernment, they are dumb. That's all I can say. So they're blocked. Their pineal gland is completely blocked. Have no discernment, have no spiritual awareness, no spiritual opening whatsoever to something that is just common decency for most people, right? That's why they're in the minority right now. But because of the media is still far leftist, they give an impression that majority, silent majority, are for the left. No, not at all. Mr. T won the election 80 to 20, 80 to 20. So even a year ago, on election day, it's only 20% leftist left. Today is probably less than 15, probably 10% or less. So if you're still a Democrat right now, you're like the dumbest of the dumbest, and you will never wake up, and you are not my tribe, and you will face consequences for your stupidity. I'm telling you that much. Okay? So expand your thinking, Maria. The hurt comes from the belief that I am this ego, this person, that being victimized, that being wrong, that being violated, and you cannot let go. It's not that necessarily there is no validity whatsoever that your acts has wronged you. Likelihood is, like in every relationship, it's mutual, right? It takes two to tango. So he did his mistakes, you did your mistakes, and you were also attached to an idea, to an illusion of a relationship in which you believe that this relationship would save me, that he would save me, that the relationship and him would make you happy and complete and fulfilled in every way. Now you grew out of that phase, grew out of that relationship. You should at least see that the reality that a lot of things that you assume about relationship have been proven false and not to work, right? To enter a relationship thinking that you will be happier because somebody else now is gonna, make you happier. Basically, you are still subscribing to the illusions that will eventually manifest in hurt and trauma. So instead of putting the blame on somebody else as wrong as he might be toward you, right? For whatever reason. But you also have to recognize your own contribution to the heartache. It was only because of your own level of growth at that time you would still tolerate that kind of relationship that you knew deep down wasn't working for you, or you are living under the impression that I was supposed to expect this and that from this relationship, and when you didn't get it, you reacted violently against it. So not necessarily sometimes that the relationship itself is the problem, but the but coming into the relationship with a very very skewed and false assumptions and expectations is the recipe for disaster and heartache. So I want you to take inventory of what I say. If you need to go back to the source of pain and suffering that still lingers to these days, that you cannot let go, see it that way. Okay, why did I stick to this relationship when I was like complaining 90% of the time? Because probably, number one, like all of us are at some point in our lives, we are confused, right? We don't know what to expect, even though we have expectations, but we don't know what real relationships are supposed to feel or to look like. So we hang on to this sort of formula or societal dictate, right? Because we grew up being brainwashed by society. Oh, you need to get married by 27 because past 30, for example, no man will like you because you're getting old. Your stock, your your stock value has plummeted, kind of thing, right? So you are confused by that. You don't want to believe it, but you also believe it at the same time because you're scared of that proposition that you are like a damaged good, right? So you're hanging on to these expectations, thinking that it's supposed to be what society tells me. And then when it's not exactly like that, but at the same time you're not ready to let go, you stay in that relationship, adding to the neurosis of the whole thing. That is what neuroses are, right? When you thinking that when your feeling and conception about the whole thing are sort of against each other. You're feeling unhappy, and you're feeling unhappy because you believe in the lies that are being spoon fed to you, right? So you're unhappy because of that, because there is a gap between expectations and reality. And then because you're holding on to that gap, you're going to project that unhappiness sooner or later into the relationship, making it so much harder to even work this time around. So you make him wrong, you accuse him, you blame him, you're angry at him, you nag him. And of course, he's going to respond with the same degree of what? Animosity, right? This is why the relationship is so painful, so rocky. You are looking for validation in it. What you got is his anger and defensiveness. But at that time, you didn't understand why he was so defensive. Now you learn from me, right? The master of equilibrium. You realize he's defensive because you are attacking him all the time. You making him wrong for your unhappiness, and you trying to control him by sort of telling him what your expectations are. And when they are not fulfilled, of course, you're gonna tell him more what an awful partner, an awful person he is. And do you think any man or anyone at all will be inspired to do better by being told how evil, how wrong, how unworthy they are? No, of course not. Right? So I want you to see that the dynamics that cause the whole thing. Right? Now you have already expanded from that stage. I think you will be better equipped to detect, to identify why your relationship didn't work. Yeah, you were young too, hon. So forgive yourself. And likelihood I don't know how old he was. He was probably in his 22s, right? You were young people. You were babies. You didn't know much of anything. I didn't know much anything in my 20s either. So forgive yourself. Everyone is supposed to learn a thing or two about what doesn't work in their current life through the pain and suffering they're experiencing in life. There is nothing lost in that from that relationship. It's not a relationship lost, you know what I'm saying? Because you gain so much, you learn so much from it. You know what I'm saying? Now you are a wiser lady who probably absorbing most of the thing I tell you and open to these very high teachings. At the time, you didn't know me. You didn't have any access to this kind of wisdom, right? Nobody in the niche teaches you this wisdom. Nobody. They don't have it any in the first place. Because likelihoods they still have problems in their own relationship too. With the same causes that their clients experience because they have expectations, they believe in the illusion of what special relationship is all about, right? I call it a special relationship, meaning that this relationship is what to save me from myself. That's what special relationship is. A total delusional stance. No relationship will save you. If you're not if you're not already safe in your current situation as a single person, for example, no relationship will save you. As simple as that. Sooner or later, your ugliness will be reflected back at you by your partner. To me, it's a very simple concept. But to many of you, it's a mystery because you are not very self aware. You cannot see yourself, you only see other people. You can only see their problems. Right? So does that make sense, Maria? So if you're totally over your ex, but you're still remorseful and regretful about, you know, about the state of the relationship, yeah, meaning you're not truly healed. And you can speed the healing by being grateful for the experience. Without the experience, you wouldn't have been the person that you are today. Look at that freckles, Olivia. Freckles! Hey, baby! Hey! I love you. You're so sweet and cute. I love her so much. Okay. So let go of the past. The past is nothing but a pile of memories, ladies. It's not even real, right? It is perceived from the pair of glasses you are wearing right now. Forgive yourself. Forgive not knowing, Maria. We all went through that in our lives, and because we have to. That's part of evolution. It's part of growth. We need to go through the pain and suffering to come to the center, to come to the truth. Without my pain and suffering going through the divorce and the breakup with my ex-husband, I wouldn't have been here. Where are you going, Freckles? Where do you want to go? Come on. You want to go to here? Sorry, ladies. This crazy lady. Oh my God, you step on mommy's. All right, all right, right, right. Go, go. She's funny. She can go to that part from that side, but she has to go back from this side. She's weird, but I love her. All right. What did I say earlier? That without the pain and suffering of my very painful divorce and separation from my ex-husband, I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been preaching this to you ladies, and I wouldn't have been enjoying this hot tub every like few times a week, right? So cultivate that mentality that is capable of turning calamities and tragedies into opportunities for growth. So turn lemon into lemon martini, or at least lemonade if you don't if you don't drink. You know, I don't like martini either. So turn lemon into lemon cosmopolitan. Cosmo is my favorite drink. You know what I'm saying? Have that always that mentality. Whatever life throws at you along the journey, it's because it's right for you. You need it. It's the lesson that you need, that you want. You only go through the hardship because you don't understand the lesson. Once you understand the lesson, you will never experience that again. And if you had understood the lesson, you wouldn't have experienced the hardship in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So this understanding, this awareness makes you a very powerful human being with a very high level self awareness, right? So I hope that answer your question. Hi Deidra, how are you? Merry Christmas. It the keys. It reads as though you're not able to forgive him. Who are you talking about? The keys. I have no problem with my past relationship or past marriage or my ex. I no longer have any feeling about that. It happened. It was supposed to happen, because there is a lesson in it for me, and the lesson has taught me a great deal. And the lesson I'm so grateful about, because I managed to turn it into this thriving empire. All right. And Ashley, what is your advice to get over infidelity if it involves a woman who is still in the man's life? For example, mother of his child. If it's been years, he's apologetic and has changed, but you're still triggered and hurt by the situation. Ashley, then earn it. As I say, expand your thinking, expand your awareness. The tendency of the wounded ego is always seeing everything from that place of woundedness, from that place of the small ego. And when you're so restricted, in your ego boundaries, in your that conception of self, this is the ego, right? Someone who is egoless is pretty much like that. There is no boundaries, no real boundaries in that way that can be wounded or violated. But you are still like this. That's why you hang on to that conception of the self. And the smaller that conception of self, the thicker the boundaries are, the more prone you are toward insults and injuries. Okay, so the thicker you erect boundaries all around you, the more likely they will be violated. Nobody else teaches you this doesn't is there. Every other coach under the sun, oh, develop, set boundaries, this, that. Doesn't mean that I don't have boundaries. I do have boundaries, but it's not the first thing that come to mind. You know what I'm saying? First of all, fix your glasses or fix your eyesight so you can dwell in the vision 2020, so you can see things as clearly. as they are. If you're still so wounded in that ego to the point that it really rules you. By the way, ladies, if you're still hurt and wounded about something as a natural reaction to a situation, it's totally understandable. I'm not saying you have to always like right away forgive, even though in your heart it's still hurtful and it's still you're still so traumatized and pained by it, and you cannot even think about forgiveness. In that case, yeah, enjoy your in a way your anger, because it's so important to embrace every emotion too. And some anger, some emotions are needed, are just and righteous. This is why I'm angry with the Democrats, because that's an angry, that is an righteous anger. It has to be done that way. The Democrats need to know people like us are angry at them, because otherwise they think it is just nothing, child play. No, they don't know what's coming. They don't know the consequences of their folly, their stupidity. I can only tell you that much. Okay, because being Dallas for 2 months, I know much more than you do, guys. Much more. But you don't have to believe me. Just say it for yourself. You'll find out. You'll find out. So, Ashley, you understand what I'm trying to say? Go go onto my fan subscription. So if you sit week by week going through my classes and my sermons, and sooner or later uh, it will register in you as second nature what I'm talking about, right? For example, right now he already stated that he was sorry, he apologized, he changed his behavior, but you're still angry because you're still hang on to the past. You're a hoarder, actually. You're a hoarder of past hurt and trauma. It's no longer around. It's probably happened many years ago, right? And he's already changed. He already apologized. He's proving it with his actions that he repented. And you still don't accept that. Then the problem is on you. Okay, process it some more. Implement that expand expanded awareness that also includes other people in the equation, not just your small self, this small self here, the ego. So, gradually, you begin to expand the conception of the self from this type to become more and more spacious, larger and larger and larger. And until at some point, yourself and the cosmos is one and the same. That is what I call cosmic consciousness. And only those people who are already dwelling in cosmic consciousness can give you a sense of what cosmic consciousness is all about. So stick with me, okay, for the most sacred lessons in inner knowledge. Um, on self knowledge. Uh, I hope that answer your question. This is from Olivia. I just watched the video again. And if you haven't seen it, ladies, I actually addressed Olivia's question on the free class on Christmas Eve. So you might want to go there after this class. It's titled "How to Be Awake in the Matrix." I just watched the video again. I think I don't fully comprehend about the saying of the proof is in the pudding. Are you saying to judge someone's level of success is to see how happy or unhappy the person is in her own life? Is it to say that both single or couple being can be either happy or unhappy? Same goes to success with world status. Is this the right interpretation? Thanks. Yes, someone, partly yes, and I will explain in a bit. So some people can be really, really successful, right? Meaning like they're famous. And now that we go through what we're going through, I also know a lot of famous people, they don't get there because of their merit, but because they sold their soul to the devil. So you really understand the inner working of the celebrity world, right? There is no freedom in the celebrity world. You put out you are put up there, meaning that your loyalty is to the ones that put you up there, to your masters. And the masters of these famous people, they are communists and Satanists, most of them. They are the globalists, the far leftists. And lucky, I'm not famous like that. Probably I'm kind of pretty well known in certain circle, but I'm not like a celebrity. And I never intend to be a celebrity. I don't understand the appeal. So what? So people can follow you around wherever you go and asking for autographs, and you no longer have your privacy and your alone moments. I don't think that is something that I covet or desire. I'm a very private person for a reason. I like my aloneness. I enjoy my own company. I am my own best friend. So people who aim to be celebrities, who want to be famous, it's because of they're not happy being themselves. They're still duped by this ego who tells them that if you're famous, then you'll be happier. So I guess at my age right now, I know the reality of it. It's all bullshit, right? It's largely an illusion. So to these people who, in their public persona, they are so successful, right? They're so famous, but deep down, they're not free. They're not happy. They don't have a say on uh, what they can say to the public honestly, or what kind of products that they can offer. Yeah, they get the freedom to create as long as they don't go over certain limits, right? The limits, of course, being politically incorrect. I'm like the queen of political incorrectness. I was born to be politically incorrect. I have no problem with that. That's who I am. So this is why I am where I am in my journey in life, right? As I said, the proof is in the pudding. So people like me are extremely rare. And only people who have gumption, you mean who are the proof in the pudding themselves, can pull off what I pull off. Okay. Some people choose the mainstream route. So they go on Oprah. This day we call her Nopra, not no more Oprah, because Oprah is no more. Those people you see on their social media, they're still alive. A lot of them have been gitmoed. A lot of them have been executed because they are child sex traffickers. So I want you to be aware of them. So if you are still in the matrix, you will still think, oh, Hillary Clinton is still alive. Bill Clinton is still alive. Oprah is still alive. Alec Baldwin actually shot someone with a very ridiculous storyline that went with it, right? I never follow that shit because I know it's all fake news. I know for a fact these people are gone, 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 gone. We are at the end of this shit show, this movie. We just have to announce it. That's all. That's why I'm going back to Dallas. We're waiting for the big reveal. Okay. I don't know what's gonna happen really, how we gonna do it, because as I see it, a lot of people are still asleep. Even the Republicans, right? A lot of them are still asleep. They were still wearing a mask. They still believe in COVID. They still believe in variants. They're taking their boosters. Oh God, so stupid. So being asleep doesn't always mean being Democrats. A lot of Republicans are sheep too, are asleep, but at least they are not as rotten as the Democrats. So, but as we see that people are waking up, people are waking up. How do I know people are waking up? Because uh, Joey's personal friends, one of them Republican, one of them Democrats, both of them are beginning to see what's happening. The Democrat, both of them live in New York, and New York is a shitty town. It's totally communist. So, and I believe New York is the only state who won, the only blue state left the last election, because the other state has, the other 49 states actually have turned red. This is why Mr. T won 80 to 20, mostly come from the communist New York. The 20% mostly come from the communist New York, probably. So it's a depressing situation in New York. So if you ladies are from New York, maybe can update us about what's happening in your city. Okay, so people are waking up. One of his friends, a Democrat who is also so anti-Trump, he's suffering from the TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, begins to see what is at play here. And he's a union guy too. It's very, very libtard. And the other one is a Republican, but he's also just taking the sort of very safe route, not saying anything, following his boss orders to take the jabs twice. Now, his boss wants him to take the booster. His boss is a millionaire, a Democratic millionaire, and he's been driving him and his family for, I don't know, for probably 2 decades or something. So it's been working as the personal chauffeur of this millionaire, who now required him to take the booster, and he refused. He didn't want to. Now he began to feel this persecution himself, and he's a Trump supporter, but he didn't say anything. He was just a quiet. Basically, yeah, for the most part, he was a sheep too. Yeah. And he began to wake up as well. Not to mention Joey's dad, who is not for nobody, never voted, is also beginning to wake up. So people are waking up. If at least 2 people in our inner circles have woken up, that means millions others are waking up as well. This is why it's called the Great Awakening. And when the big reveal happens, which is hopefully by the end of the year, at least another probably 10% of the Democrats will wake up. But about 5 to 6% are going to be completely lost to the brainwash. So according to one of the Q drops, 4 to 5%, or between 4 to 6%, will be forever lost, meaning they will never wake up. They will still be in denial, and then they probably will still fight the truth, fight reality. And there is no mercy for these people. There is no mercy for these people. Okay, they won't be able to adjust to our 5D world, because after this is all over, only 5D people will govern. 5D people will implement justice. So we're gonna govern according to godliness, according to the truth. And the truth doesn't depend on any particular religion. It's not about religion. Now, I'm rambling, Olivia. Let me go back to your question. So yeah, there are people who have the appearance of very successful, right? Like all these celebrities, they live in a mansions, but they are not happy because their success is really just skin deep. It was manufactured for a greater purpose, for a demonic agenda. You are just a pawn, you're just a slave. So are those people really successful? Well, some of them are really, really talented, we must say, right? Some of these artists, for example, like Lady Gaga, let's face it, she's very talented. Or Beyonce, for example, right? But because they are also under the control of the demons, they're demonic, they don't know how to deal with their own demons, eventually that skin deep level of success will cost them their souls, their lives. This is why these people are no longer around. Because once you torture, rape, and eat children, you finish. You're going to be executed. There is no forgiveness to child rapists, child eaters, and child molesters and child murderers. No forgiveness whatsoever. Okay, this history of persecution, we've seen enough. We've seen enough, and we're not going to tolerate it anymore. No more. No more. Yesterday, uh, I bought this audiobook on the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. So, ladies, get it on Amazon or something. Get the Audible for the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and you got it for free. Actually, if you want to go into the trial and then the next month you pay for their monthly membership, but you can cancel anytime. So please go to Amazon, type in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and you'll be very, very shocked what Mary Magdalene teaches, what yours truly, your teacher, has been teaching as well. This is also part of the proof in the pudding, right? Because obviously part of this sort of great awakening is to find the current incarnation or the current soul of Mary Magdalene. And all my names lead to the same conclusion of that incarnation. But of course, people will always wonder, and you know how to verify it another time other than my all my names and my birthday. It's all stupid coded, leading to one conclusion. Is also the fact that I know what Mary Magdalene teaches because I embody it. And I only found out, obviously, like 2 months ago. But yesterday was the time when I actually invested the time, because everything is about timing. Just because I realized something that not necessarily I had the time right away to research it. But last night, for whatever reason, and again, for me, it's all spontaneous. Yeah, spontaneity, right? I don't know what caused it. I just decided to listen to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and it's totally my teaching. It's totally my teaching beyond the shadow of a doubt. In fact, on Christmas Eve, I talk about living on the epicenter, living on from the heart center. You become the eye of the storm. And Mary Magdalene talks about being in harmony. That's what being in harmony is all about. And totally recognize Mary Magdalene too from the way he addresses people. She addressed her students. The kind of thing that I would have said as well. So is it all coincidence? We'll find out. We'll find out. I have no investment one way or another. One way or another. I have no attachment. If somebody else proves to be a better description of Mary Magdalene, by all means, that person is probably the true Mary Magdalene. But so far, or my numbers, all my decoding are perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned. And the fact that I teach what she taught some 2,000 years ago, to the point that it's so ridiculous. We use this a lot of same conception, same words. That has to be explained too. Okay, that is what I mean by the proof in the pudding. Some other people might decode the same way, and then they find out, hey, the decoding says I am Mary Magdalene, but right now I'm hating my life. I don't know where to go. I am so unhappy with my relationship, and I'm basically my life is a mess. Probably you're not Mary Magdalene. I'm just saying. Likelihood is the incarnation of Mary Magdalene would have a messy life. Her life will be good. And her life will be good not because she's rich or she's famous. Her life will be good because she's balanced. She has embodied that harmony, that Christ consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So it's an exciting time. Exciting time. We will learn so many things about a lot of things in the world, about the lies and deceptions that we have been all brainwashed with all our lives. And I told you, the Bible, the original Bible, has at least 777 books. And they all have been reduced to 66 because Christianity has also been Luciferian infiltrated. Who do you think the Pope is? The Pope is the head of the Luciferian cult. Look at look at Vatican. Look at their, I think it's their boardroom or something. It resembles of the face of a reptile, a snake, right? It's everywhere on Facebook. So if some of you still are not aware of it because you don't want to know, you'll be very shocked. And the Pope as well is dead. He's been executed because he's evil. Not just the Pope, the Queen too. They will announce the Queen's death soon. The Queen has been dead probably at least 2 years now. But because we're living in the matrix, these kind of announcements are being drip to us as a means, of course, to control society, right? And I do understand they don't announce right away, oh, the Queen just died, because they have to also consider public security, social, national security. They don't want any disturbances in the world, right? But hopefully we're gonna better handle our world in the new era, in the golden age. So if you want to reap the benefits of the golden age, ladies and gentlemen, which is Nasara and Jasara, repent now, repent, because we're not gonna give that to the leftist communists. Certainly not. Certainly not. We're not gonna reward you with the economic benefits of Nasara and Jasara while you still remain libtards. I'll make sure that doesn't happen. I'll make sure that doesn't happen. All right? And you better believe me. Okay. No libtards will benefit from Nasara and Jasara. End of conversation, because you're the wicked. You are why we are in these deep problems. We know who you are. We remember who you are as well. Who you were, what you posted about, how you voted all your life. We have everything about you. Okay, so there is no escape from this. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Olivia. Are you still in the fan subscriptions? You can ask more questions in the fan subscription. Uh, this is from Holly. Hi, Holly. Thank you, Kat, for your teachings. Because of you, I married an amazing man last year, and this year, at 46, had my first baby. Wow! Congratulations, Holly. Thank you so much. Please post in the group the story of your success story. The journey that you went through with me, married your husband, and having a first baby at 46. I'm so happy for you. Thank you, sweetheart. Did I ever announce your engagement? If not, then please post it in the group. Okay. All right. So let's see. Uh, my battery is only 23% left, sweetie pies. So probably I'll address one last question. Oh, let me. This is from Olivia again. Merry Christmas to you. Hope you will have a good one with your family. I have run into a situation these days ever since I dated my ex, who is much younger than me. I started noticing people around me who have parents with great age difference or have strong opinions about dating with age difference. A few of my friends whose parents have 10 years gap. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I don't usually date men who are much younger than me. My ex was an exception, and it sort of just happened. Do age play a key role in men's dating decision? I'm very happy with the stage where I'm at anyway. But it seems that my ex could not overlook the age difference. That is the same question as, do men love blonde women? Some do, some don't. The same. Do men really date only much younger women? Some do, some don't. Do men love older women? Some do, some don't. But what why do you worry so much? I never dated a man who only exclusively dates blonde women. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not blonde. So naturally, I'm only in the radar of men who love brunette or who love Asian women, right? So I wouldn't know any man who loves blonde women and date me and then complain because I'm not a blonde. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry so much, Olivia. Why do you want to analyze everything? There's no straight answer to that. You just have to find your own tribe. Okay, as I already say, Joey is only attracted to older women. I don't know right now if he will marry or he will date. If he was single, he would date women in his women in their 60s. Maybe he would want younger women this time around because he's 50, right? But he's always been attracted to cougars, older women. So you either find a man like him or man of your own age who doesn't care so much about age, who has more like depth and substance than just the appearances of the women, right? Who probably not in a hurry or wanting to have kids. I mean, they have no preference. If they have kids, it's fine. If they don't have kids, it's fine. There are always people from many different kind of persuasions, Olivia. Stop having this so limited scarcity mentality. The scarcity mentality is why you have so many questions. Just live life as if all has been given to you. So you no longer worry so much. All has been given to you. Match that frequency of uh, of a state of being when everything is given to you. and everything has been given to you. You just have to let it materialize in its own time. Everything in its own time. You can also say everything is in God's timing, right? Again, you don't need to be a Christian now to use the word God or a Muslim. I'm a Buddhist still, and there is no conflict in me. And mind you, also Mary Magdalene pretty much taught Buddhism. This is why Christianity is the way it is today, because half of it has been altered, has been removed. The, the, the part that has been removed is the part that makes sense of everything. That is the inner work part. This is why, and it's no offense to any Christians out there. Christianity is as dry as it is. It's not that it's all bad. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it's lacking in the inner work part. The inner work was taught by the holiest divine feminine, Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is the original feminine magnetism. She is the divine feminine. She is the sacred feminine. She is the androgynous holy bride of Christ. Why is she called androgynous? She's not androgynous because she doesn't have a long hair. She, in fact, through the depiction, she had long hair, right? Like I do. And in the Matrix movie, Trinity was basically, the symbolism of Mary Magdalene. Trinity has a crop hairstyle to depict his androgynes, her androgynous traits. But being androgynous, I know some of us are sensitive to that word because we have been so brainwashed with the gender inversion culture of the Baphomets or the Luciferian culture, right? This is why all the celebrities that we see out there, they're inverted. The men are actually women, the women are men because they worship a transgender god, which is Baphomet. So when androgyny, I mean the state of no gender pretty much, is being propagated and promoted out there, now we become so like sensitive to that word. But in the Bible and also in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and the word androgynous or androgyny is used many times. Also when you're decoding, like hundreds of times, the word androgynous will show up. It shows the nature of harmony, of balance, of someone who has materials, who has embraced her yin and yang side, which I believe I have. This is why, other than teaching feminine magnetism, I also don't have a problem to stand up for our rights, to stand up to speak for the truth, which is a warrior stance. And in your traditional view, warrior stance is not feminine, right? It's masculine, because this is why so many of you are complaining, you're not feminine at all. You're so masculine. Oh, fuck yeah. I am masculine when I need to be masculine because I am whole. I have a balanced yin and yang. And Karina Pang, also yin and yang. Karina Pang is 1-to-1, right? 1-to-1 is Second Coming, Sun Tzu, Zen Master, the Almighty God. God is a woman, also yin and yang. Think about it. That's what it means. Someone who is balanced. Mary Magdalene embraces every part of herself. So she becomes balanced. She has a balanced side between her masculine and feminine. But in the relationship with Jesus, she was totally feminine. She didn't mind to follow his leadership. Like I don't mind following my man's leadership in the relationship. I don't compete with him. I appreciate him. I respect him. That's the very embodiment of yin and yang, of androgyny. Holy people are androgynous because they're feminine but they need to be feminine. They're masculine when they need to be masculine. Do you understand? Oh, ladies, I really want to talk more, but I have only 10% left on my computer. If you want to know more the depth of my inner work program, I invite you to sign up for Journey Inward. You will learn so much more about this. And nobody else in the business can teach this. Okay. So sign up, and we have one more class left in which all the participants are required to go through all the 18 classes and 20 with the bonuses so they can get ready with their questions to be addressed in the last class that will also run for 2 hours. So if you're interested, sign up for Journey Inward and sit on the last class and ask me questions, all right, pertaining to your inner work, inner growth. So this is going to be an exciting time in history, ladies. We're gonna restore God's words. We're gonna restore the Bible. We're gonna restore the truth. We're gonna restore God's teachings. And there is only one truth. And it doesn't have, I mean, it's not a religion. I don't teach you religion. I teach you embodiment. And Mary Magdalene is the same. She teaches embodiment. So obviously, if you learn all of that from Buddhism or Hinduism, so my theory is she probably met Jesus in India because Jesus also left some traces in India. Jesus is in fact one of the gods that the Hindus worship. So how do you think that happens? Because he had a pilgrimage, I guess, in his 20s. That is probably when he met Mary Magdalene, who was also a student, a disciple there. Anyway, it's been so wonderful, ladies. I would like to talk more about this, but it's coming. And be grateful for what's coming. It's going to be beyond glorious. We're going to be entering 1,000 year of peace, 1,000 year of prosperity and peace in the golden age. But only if you repent, meaning stop being a leapdog. All right? Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.